Hi, it's the Nikon D3 and the Nikon D800. My trusty friend, the D3, that's never left my side. Been to so many weddings together. We've been on so many adventures. We've done millions of family photo shoots. Oh, I love this camera. Absolutely love it. And the D800 I bought more recently when I got asked to do another wedding and I just wanted a backup camera. So I'd been shooting weddings. I think because the D3 has the two compact flash card slots, it reminds me of that quote on Titanic when somebody says, "She's all the lifeboats you need." The D3 has never let me down ever on a shoot, and I just had complete and utter confidence in it for years. As time went by and my D3 got older and older, and then my friend's D3 had some problems, and I started thinking, ooh. And I thought, no, I ought to get a second camera. So I went for the D800, and I always remember John Bigglestone, who's this channel is in memory of John. He used to shoot me a lot in the studio, and I remember him saying, "I've got this new camera, Kidlet. I've got this new camera. It's a D800." And I said, "Oh, right, great." And he said, "Yeah, you should see the definition. You should see the quality. You can see every hair on whoever's head, that he'd just shot." And I thought, oh my goodness, like from the point of view of a model, that's not always what you want, because I was just thinking, oh, you're going to see every single pore. So whilst a lot of photographers love the extra definition of the D800, for portrait photography, I actually feel like less is more. And actually, I used to have a lens. I think it was when I shot on my Canon outfit before I went over to Nikon. And I didn't go over to Nikon through anything wrong with Canon. I just borrowed John's D3 at a motorbike race when I went to photograph it, and I came back thinking, I need one of those cameras, and that was it. I didn't try anything else out. I just wanted a D3 after using it once. But yeah, I remember when I was shooting with Canon, I had this old lens. I think it was a 300mm lens, and there was something wrong with it. It had this fungus growing inside the lens, in between the glass, and it gave the pictures a really soft look. And honestly, whenever I shot with that lens for portraits, I always loved the results, because it gave such a lovely soft look, like looking through this fungus. It just gave it a lovely, like, complementary, very flattering softness. And all my clients used to love the pictures that I shot with that lens through the fungus. So I really think it's worth bearing in mind that when you're doing portraits, do you really want all that high definition? Because it's a lighter camera as well. Like, look at the size difference. Because the D800 is a lighter camera, you can put a great big old lens on if you're doing like wildlife photography. You've got that extra definition there, and but you haven't got so much weight. I have found with the D3 at a wedding, after 8 hours, I'm starting to get knots in my shoulder. But a lot of photographers that I've spoken to don't have that problem, because they're a little bit stronger in the arm than me. So that's just my personal findings. And of course, the lens that you've got on the front is going to make a huge difference to the weight of the camera as well, isn't it? So what I love about the D800 is it's smaller, lighter. I can stick it in my handbag. What some people might find handy about the D800, just where the sort of settings and controls are, is on the top here. It's got the ISO and the quality, so that's quite handy to have the quality sort of like accessible. It's got white balance there as well, which is also handy. The ISO on the D3 is down the bottom there, which again is fine. I think when you're out in the dark, it can be a little bit fiddly, whereas if it's on the top, it's got, I don't know, it just sort of seems easier to see on the top, So the other reason I went for a D800 as my second camera was because I wanted to try some video. So I was really excited to get a DSLR that does video, and I'm going to do another video. I'm going to do another video on this afternoon with my son, and I'm going to test the video out again and show you the quality of the video. I am having problems focusing on the video because I would like to move in and out. So I would like to, while I'm doing a video, move around and focus at different points, and I'm having trouble doing that on the D800. So I'm going to have another go this afternoon and see how we get on. I'm going to do some portraits with both these cameras this afternoon and do like a bit of a direct comparison. And maybe I will also do this on my painting there. I do some military art from time to time, and I think if you're reproducing art, you're going to want the extra definition, aren't you? So I might do the same direct comparison on my painting of the elephants. And we'll use the same lens and we'll have a play and we'll see what happens. I'm just going to show you the burst mode on each camera. So this is the D800. And this is the D3. What a difference. I mean, it's got a lot less information to write, hasn't it, the D3? So it's a lot faster. But actually, like for me, it's probably a good thing to start getting used to the D800, because I've got this, John used to say to me, oh, you and your machine gun technique. And, you know, I'll come back from a shoot and I will have a million pictures to edit, and it will take me days and days and days, probably because of this amazing burst mode. So actually, as much as I love it, it might actually be beneficial for me to get used to the D800 and just slow down a little bit. But obviously for a bike race and things, D3 on that burst mode is awesome. But I think for me now, I just want to pick up something that's kind of smaller and lighter and easy to carry around. If you like the size of the D3, if you like a chunky camera, you can get a grip to go on the bottom, because there is something about the D3 feeling just so robust in your hand. You pick it up and you just feel so confident. Yeah, so you can there is an option to get a grip for the D800 if you actually like that about the D3. So in the D800, you've got space for a compact flash card and then an SD card, which is great, isn't it? You've got that backup once again, like you have with the D3. You've just got to have an SD card instead of the second compact flash. So it's really a question of what you want for your clients. If you're shooting for clients, do you want that quality and high definition? If you're doing a family shoot, I think as a photographer you can get quite caught up with image quality, and I'm quite a perfectionist on things being pin sharp. But actually sometimes people have said, oh, I like that one, and I thought, oh, don't have that one, you know, I don't want my name to that, it's not quite sharp, but they've loved it because they look good, you know. So there is definitely that to consider. And I think when choosing a camera, if we can put ourselves in the position of who we're shooting and not just getting caught up in taking the best, most crisp shot, there is definitely a benefit to that, 100%. So let's have a look at some direct comparisons, same lens, and we'll see what we get. Hi, so wow, this was such a fascinating experiment. So this first shot was taken with the D3. I used exactly the same settings. I was lazy, I left my painting on the wall in my office. I didn't take it out into brighter light. So this is shot at 50mm on my 50mm prime lens. So f2 at an 80th of a second. This file size is 8.7 megabytes. Obviously I had to convert it to a JPEG for the video. This is the D800. Okay, so as you can see, exactly the same settings. This file size is 24.6 megabytes, But I don't know if you can see, because sometimes on YouTube it compresses the file slightly and it's trickier to see, but I've zoomed in to 100% on both of these images. The one taken with the D3 is brighter, clearer and sharper looking. Now obviously this was taken in quite low light, I guess. We're inside, it's like we had the natural light from the window and the light was on, but it's taken in fairly low light, so obviously the D3 is going to come up trumps with that. But check that out. So yeah, I'm going to continue. I mean, my kind of rule for which camera I grab is, am I working in low light? If I am, I'm going to grab my D3 every time. If I've got loads and loads of light and, you know, I want to give my shoulder a rest, I'll grab my D800. And yeah, this just confirms I'm on the right path. Okay, so next up I photographed my friend Carol with both cameras, both on my 50mm lens, 2.8, f2.8. On the D800 I was on a 3/20th of a second, and on the D3 I was on a 400th of a second. So the file size of the D800 shot is 17.5 megabytes and the D3 shot was 5.7 megabytes. This was, I learned so much doing this. Honestly, like I've never really taken much notice, I suppose, of file sizes, and using the D800, I'm just amazed at the dynamic range. So the shadows are so lifted, aren't they? You can see such a difference here, and it's just amazing to see. Obviously, you've got so much more information stored in that image that I was quite honestly surprised, because I thought that I would prefer the portrait shot done on the D3, because as I was saying before, like less sharpness sometimes on portraits is good, but actually I just love the detail. Like, okay, you've got more detail in like the bits that people might not want to see, like little lines and wrinkles, but you've also got all that beautiful detail in the eyes, and I just love it. I absolutely love the result of the D800. There we go, side by side. Those shadows, the eyes are brighter, just wow. Like these were taken in the same light, outside, same distance away and things. So yeah, I can't believe it. I'm really fascinated by this little experiment. So we're going to come in a little bit closer now so that you can see Carol's face closer up on both cameras. So in terms of the warmth of the image, as you can see, the image shot on the D3 is much warmer. And I normally shoot on cloudy white balance on my D3, like pretty much all the time, to be honest. I love the warmth that it gives to skin tone. So on my D800, I don't seem to be able to find the preset white balance settings. Could be user error, but you have to actually set it on mine, set the colour temperature, which I'm not so familiar with. I do like my cloudy white balance setting. It's my go-to on my D3. So so that's why the one shot on the left, which is the D800 shot, is cooler, really. But look at that detail in the eyes. Absolutely fantastic. I am so impressed with the D800. I kind of feel like I'm almost cheating on the D3 here. As I say though, you do need that decent light, I feel, to get the best out of your D800. So which brings me nicely on to my next video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.
And we took the D800 on our honeymoon to Fuerteventura, and we got some fantastic results. So come back, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.
You know, and it's nice to have something like big to get your hands around. But because I get a little bit nervous, I decided to get another body. Blah, 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 blah.